good garden chihuahua. I just wanted to show y'all the fig tree real quick. While we're here, we'll look at a couple of potted tomatoes in deep shade. There's some peppers and eggplant in the back. I think squirrels or something got all the peaches. There were probably 50 peaches on this tree 2 weeks ago, and they weren't ripe yet. They were golf ball size green peaches, and one day I came out and like all 50 of them were just gone, and I looked on the ground and didn't see any, so not really sure what happened there. The figs though are what I'm really happy about. I think these are 4 years old, 3 or 4 years old now. This is the first year I think we're going to get a massive crop. I mean, this thing is just absolutely loaded with figs. And these are those dwarf watermelon figs where they're green on the outside and pink on the inside. Probably going to get a couple hundred. I'm excited. Hopefully I get them before the squirrels do. These trees flopped over during the hurricane last year, but they seem to be producing better than they have before. I don't know if I need to get in here and do some pruning or whatnot, but anyway, just wanted to show you all that. It's been a little while since we did a front yard garden update. We'll see how long this lasts. My battery's about to die. Some of these winter carrots were real slow back here in the shade. They're just now ready. If anybody knows what these are, please let me know. We got some squash that's about to start producing. I don't know if I see any fruits in there yet, maybe one or two. This carrot's going to seed. I need to make a point to come out here and pick some of this Swiss chard. I don't really ever eat it, but it sure does look pretty. Crimson clover's in full bloom quite late this year. We had a very cold winter and a cool spring. Yeah, this is that same flower slash weed. I was wondering if anybody knows what it is. There's some tomatoes and basil. There's a pepper hiding in there somewhere. This squash does not look like it's ready yet either. I've only harvested one squash so far this season. Like I said, the cool spring, everything's been real slow, but the winter crops are still kind of hanging out. There's some kales and collards that are still in here, and a lot of them are full of caterpillar holes, but some of them look great. Normally we start to get triple-digit temperatures by the end of April, if not early May. First cactus zinnia is about to bloom. That'll be nice. Got some basil that's blooming in here. A lot of volunteer zinnias from last year. I came in here and dug like 20-something holes, and each hole was, a foot or two deep and 18 to 24 inches wide. And I planted all of these tomato plants in the holes I dug, and honestly, the ryegrass and the volunteer zinnias have just outcompeted everything, including the tomatoes. These bell peppers are starting to make some fruits. Again, peppers are a little slow this year because of how cold it's been. Yeah, I mean, there's some tomatoes in here, but like I said, the zinnias are just, this is all just seed that dropped from last year. I'm good about accounting for weed pressure when I plant things, but I often don't think about pressure from volunteers like all these zinnias. But yeah, I see some more bell peppers hiding in here. It looks like they're getting a little shaded out by the tomatoes, but the tomato crop will be over by first week of July, so I'll probably chop the tomatoes down and just let the peppers overtake that space. The apple mint sure is doing good in that front raised bed. Look at that monster zinnia there. There's some oregano in there with the apple mint. There's one little blueberry bush, but it's not going to yield well. The lemons are making a comeback after our 15-degree winter. Quite a bit of kale still over here. Another whole row of volunteer zinnias. Some more crimson clover. It's going to be quite a lot of zinnias in here again. Last year it was probably a little more even spacing on the zinnias, but I think the colors should be cooler this year. I've gotten a couple peppers off these so far. I planted squash in here, maybe 18 squash seeds, and I thought none of them came up. It was like 2 weeks later, I still hadn't seen but one. So I went ahead and transplanted a bunch of peppers in here instead. And then, of course, the squash sprouted and started doing great, and the peppers are all getting shaded out now. And I was in here yesterday and I couldn't even find some of the peppers underneath the squash. I was like, oh, here's a little pepper plant hiding under this monster zucchini. It's going to be a little difficult to find fruits in here, I think. I always plant things a little too densely, but yeah, I picked one zucchini so far this year. It was one of the white from Palermo. I call it a white zucchini. It's more like a minty green color, but they are in fact pretty and great flavor on them. So if I prune this squash a little bit, we can find the pepper hiding underneath it. Yeah. Maybe the bees are having a hard time finding it too. Big ol' squash leaves, not a whole lot of fruit on there yet. Another pepper hiding under the squash. Y'all can see it. Anyway, there's some roselle on this side over here. This pineapple guava flowered. I don't know when it makes fruit though. I don't know much about pineapple guavas, but they're very pretty ornamentals. This hibiscus is coming back from the roots after our... I guess I can't forget the carrots over here. I need to go ahead and harvest this bed of carrots just because we need to make room for other stuff. It's a little bit too late in the year to still be having carrots. I kind of feel around before I pull them. I had one last week that was, I don't know, 10, 12 inches. But these look like they're gonna be just fine for dinner today. This is a decent sized one here. Oh, it's just fat. Alright, well that's certainly enough for dinner today. We got potatoes from the garden we gotta eat. We got cabbage from the garden we gotta eat. We got tomatoes and peppers and peas and zucchini and all kinds of stuff. Need to get back here and do some pruning and weeding. There's some cool volunteer basils coming up. Quite a lot of tomatoes in here that need to be picked. Some are hard to reach, unfortunately. I did my best to trellis plants that I could reach, but there's some way back here that I can't reach, but it's alright. Need to do a full garden tour at some point. We briefly looked at some stuff in the wow, I'm already getting crabgrass. That's fast. We briefly looked at some stuff in the front yard this morning, I think. But we'll have to do a more detailed garden tour at some point. The crimson over here is finally blooming. Brussels sprouts didn't really work out. There's a couple little pepper plants over here in the shade. Oh, dog. Been eating quite a lot of strawberries. The crop's definitely late this year. We had such a cold winter and a very cool spring, but Probably eaten 100 strawberries this year, and I only got 3 or 4 plants. Got a lot of tomatoes still to give away. Got some eggplant hiding under here, and the strawberry hiding under that giant collard with the grapes. There's quite a few tomato plants in here. There's a massive kale plant. Look at this onion. That's unreal. It's a pretty big onion. Some more tomatoes I need to give away. Ooh, that's a good looking strawberry. This is my ground cherry plant that I'm really excited about. Physalis Philadelphica or Physalis peruviana. Some more tomatoes. More tomatoes that need to be given away. These were where the blue potatoes were that I just harvested. There's another massive kale plant there. Some volunteer potatoes. That good looking cabbage. Some more strawberries and lettuce and onions and bell peppers back there. But I think that's gonna probably wrap it up for today's abbreviated garden tour. Yeah, I should get a selfie with that onion at some point. It's bigger than the carrots.